Season 73 of your UAAP, the finals.
Set number 2 went in favor of La Salle, so they have a 2-0 set lead against the defending champions here in Game 1 of this best-of-3 finals.
Well, again, exchanges of leads, although La Salle was able to take the lead till the middle portion and until the UST was able to find their groove and gave La Salle a scare. It had to take 2 consecutive timeouts for Coach Ramil de Jesus to put a stop. Then again, UST, towards the end of the game, well, you know that they are finishers, diba? We know them as finishers, pero in this last 2 sets, really having a hard time closing the set or even coming close to La Salle. And on the other hand, La Salle just showing us a lot of guts, showing us that they really want the trophy and finding out ways to get over the hump when USC is trying to keep up with them or playing catch-up. Pero itong La Salle just very mature and playing so well in this game.
How do you like the soundtrack in the background, Mosey?
It is so loud.
Very 70s,
Very.
80s rock, ano?
Parang mga series nung 70s.
Let's take a look at some of the numbers of set number 2.
Again, attack points coming from DLSU 15 and USC producing only 10 because of, again, poor floor defense. And look at the serves. USC having 1 more, but that's not enough to win them that set. And, you know, La Salle really, going into this game, I really think that yung magiging problem is to how to get around the blockers of UST. And then, test the erratic floor defense of USC. And, you know, they are just doing that now. That's why they're able to be up by 2 sets.
And you mentioned the floor defense, Mosey, ano? La Salle has really stepped it up in terms of floor defense here. They are already good at the net, but it doesn't show in the statistic that floor defense na is very impressive. If you talk about floor defense, Adamson, of course, one of the leading teams when it comes to floor defense. But La Salle, it seems they've taken a page out of the Adamson book and in-implement nila dito, no? They're almost impregnable with the type of defense they have at the net. Pag lumusot sa floor, no?
You can see that they really have come in this game prepared. So prepared. Reading UST well.
And speaking of La Salle, let's find out more about them coming into set number 3 from Jessica Mendoza.
Eric, there's an old saying that there's knowledgeable people learn from their own mistakes, but wise people learn from the mistakes of others. I'm not sure if that's the exact quote, but the point is, I think something like that is what Coach Ramil had in mind when he reminded his girls, huwag magtapon ng serve, di bale ng walang karga. That is, he wants them to learn from the errors that cost their opponents that last set. Coach also told the girls to take their time, to talk to each other, and call out plays, and to not let their guard down even for a second. Kasi hahabol at hahabol ang mga yan, Eric and Mosey.
Thanks, Jessica. I wish I could live by that motto, to learn from the mistakes of others so that I don't have to go through the same embarrassment. But apparently,
sometimes
not the case. Not the case. Well, for for La Salle, they've really done their job, like what we talked about, and they're trying to learn from the mistakes of UST coming into set number 3. So that makes them all the more dangerous here in this set. 3-1 again, straight or right from the get-go, off the gates. They hit the ground running itong La Salle, no? And they're up by 2 right away.
Again, poor first ball for UST.
Great defense again on the floor by Gumaba, most especially punching that through the defense. Cruz, but it's still kept alive by UST. Here comes La Salle. Gumaba off the block. Score that again for the Lady Spikers. They're up by 3.
They will really draw a lot of motivation from that second set. Coming off, winning that set in spite of USC trying to play catch-up, but towards the end, and wala nang timeout si Coach Ramil. They were just doing it by themselves, adjusting by themselves, and they were able to overcome the hump. And, just a better, smarter La Salle group this year.
Timeout UST Tigresses.
Quick timeout by Coach Shaq. Let's listen in.
Alam mo ang nangyayari, nagtutulungan na lang kayo kung sino re-receive. Hindi kayo mag-usap na, pag pumunta sa kanyang bola, ako re-receive, hindi ganun eh. Mag-usap kayong tatlo. Ha? Hindi kayo bibigyan niya ng chance ball na ginagawa niyo sa kanila. Paano tayo mananalo? Di ba? Kinakargahan nila yung service.
The Tigresses in the huddle look so different from the Tigresses on the floor. Sa huddle with Coach Shaq, they're all pumped up. They're all, yes, let's go. But on the floor, they look like they're 2 times slower than LaSalle, and they look like they're depressed on the floor. They're lost, exactly. The last point was a service ace down the line that UST just let by. That's how, rough they're playing right now as we check in with Nico Ramos.
Eric and Mosey, I think it's Murphy's Law that goes, if something can go wrong, it probably will. And that's exactly what's going on here on the UST bench. The trainers are busier than ever. Aiza Maizo with her strained back. We've all heard that. But Jane Gonzalez, who saw action today, fell on her wrist, on her right wrist, in an iffy manner earlier. And they were trying to tape her up very heavily during that second set. I asked the trainers if she can go back. They said maybe. However, just lifting her hand to get it taped was already causing Jane to tear up. So she's under a lot of pain right now. However, don't expect this UST team to make any excuses. As you saw in that rally in the second round, whether it's following their game plan or not, they will find a way to get into a game. Whether by skill or by scrap, you can't ever count them out. Down 2 sets to none or not. Guys?
Thanks, Nico. Excellent report. It seems like everything is going south for UST. Aside from the fact that Maizo is struggling with a back problem. Now their service specialist with a wrist problem.
And Jane has really been a spark plug for some of the games that they've played towards the end of the second round. And an injury coming today. And another poor reception gets an ace to Chad Cruz. 4-point lead now by DLSU, who is up by 2 sets in this game.
And also up by 4 points, while UST still struggling to even get their court in order. And again, they're getting a break with LaSalle committing a service error via Cha Cruz.
Coach Shaq standing up, giving instructions.
Coach Shaq is irate at this point with the type of performance the Tigresses are putting out there. That dump was actually short from Maranyo, but Aiza Maizo made sure it wouldn't go through the net or across the net as she dumped it right back. UST down by 2, 5, serving 7.
Maizo now at the back row. Napansin mo, hindi na nga binibigyan ng back row attack si Aiza Maizo in this game so far.
Manatikla, just one blocker. Seems to be enough to stymie the offense of UST. That's been the case this entire game as Gumaba was blocked this time by 2 Tigresses. Mercado. Manatikla. Still kept alive. What floor defense by LaSalle.
That's right.
Manatikla off the net. Boyd was right there.
That was through the 2 blockers of De La Salle, as we'll see it once again. Na-late lang si Maranyo for that block, but La Salle really reading the spikers of UST so well in this game.
Speaking of UST, they are within 1 after trailing by as much as 4. Double dump by Gumabao. Doesn't work. Manatikla. That is just out.
And a check ball. A check called against LaSalle.
Manatikla, the birthday girl. That's gift number 1 for her, I guess, no?
Pag nakita mo si Gumabaw, saying walang touch, gusto mo maniwala. Kasi very innocent.
Very angelic looking face by Michelle Gumabaw. That's true.
Pero hindi na sway niya.
Manatikla, denied this time by Abigail Macaño at the net. And LaSalle inches up 8-7 here in set number 3. Taking a look there. Set number 3 action where we find LaSalle up 2 sets to nothing against UST. Brother Bernie Oka of De La Salle
Nono
University.
Malanog with him.
And of course, Father Ernesto de Sagon of UST.
Rod Sambuang also from UST.
8-7, La Salle on top. Big that we're tied off that service error by the young Gumabao. 8-all, set number 3. Let's see if this can be the launch pad of UST. They led, briefly in this game against La Salle, but they've been never able to hang on to a lead. Now, they inch up by 1, courtesy of the service ace by Ortiz. Shakey's fast serve. Shakey's It's Fun Family Pizza. Another poor first ball by La Salle. It's an easy over for the Lady Spikers. Panatikla soaring in and off the block. She scores. Happy birthday, Baruch Panatikla.
Let's see if they get something out of this run.
It's 10-8. UST on top. Let's listen to La Salle.
Mag-concentrate tayo sa zone 1. Pagka nagkakaroon ng pagkakataon, wala nang receive. Takbo, yap, palit ka agad. Ha?
Again, very methodical to see Coach Ramil, no? Dalawa lang yung lamang. Right after a technical timeout, tawag agad just to make sure that he sets things right.
Yeah. Kumbaga, giving the remedy right away.